The most explosive controversy to date has rocked the world of hip-hop and love. What began as a social media whisper has now exploded into an unmanageable firestorm of rumors, leaked video, and shocking disclosures that nobody could have predicted. In the middle of everything, Kirk Frost and Rasheeda. The same thing keeps coming up in reports. Rasheeda is pregnant, but Kirk Frost is not the father. Fans initially didn't believe it. Rasheeda and Kirk have, after all, endured years of public humiliation, breakups, reconciliations, and cheating scandals. Even when Kirk was at his lowest, Rasheeda had always been there for him. The notion that it would be she who went out? Unimaginable. Now, however, the impossibility appears to be very real. According to unnamed people close to the marriage, Kirk learnt the truth in the most cruel manner imaginable. They didn't tell him. He didn't sit down and give an explanation. No. Like the rest of the world, he discovered the truth through a leaked medical report that went viral online. When did he do it? He lost it. When the first alarm appeared on his phone, Kirk was out conducting errands. He believed it to be clickbait. Rasheeda is expecting a child. However, Kirk Frost isn't the father. No, that isn't possible. Then the texts arrived, the phone calls, the threads on Twitter, screenshots, memes. There was no end to the shadow. He stopped and made his own check. The papers had an official appearance. Too formal. He scrolled with shaking hands. His face was emptied of blood. DNA outcomes? Not the father in large, strong text next to his name? He had a suffocating sensation. His thoughts were racing as he found himself back in his vehicle and driving quickly home. How? Who? When? He arrived at the house to see Rasheeda simply sitting there. Be calm, cool, as if nothing had occurred. His voice was low and threatening as he asked, "You got something to tell me?" Without barely raising her gaze, she asked, "What are you talking about?" Boom. The spark was that. There was mayhem for the following few minutes. Screaming, charges, furniture that is broken. One of the phones broke against the wall. Kirk insisted on knowing whose child it was and wanted answers. Rasheeda refused to speak. Simply shrugged, as though it didn't matter, she remarked, "I guess you're not the father." He lost all control. He began to shout, pointing the finger at her, reminding her of all the hardships they had endured and the things he had done to keep their family united. Rasheeda, though? She remained chilly. She yelled, "Everything you did? You really want to go there?" They both understood her meaning. Kirk had a past. A sloppy, long one. Cheating. Telling lies. Humiliating her on national television. She also brought him back. Again and again. The roles were reversed today, though. The battle became too loud and security had to intervene. The neighbors had made a call. Outside, paparazzi were already present. Then the video appeared. A pirated video of Rasheeda in a dark hotel room surfaced online. Off camera, she was conversing with someone. Her voice? Unsteady. "I feel guilty." Her words, "I never meant for this to happen." Does Kirk know? A man's voice then inquired. No, I don't believe he has evidence yet. The internet went crazy when the man came into the light. Kirk knew, even though his face was unclear. He was aware. It was a near relative. Too near. A companion. Over and over, he viewed the footage. Was unable to stop. Unable to breathe. Each frame was like a kick to the stomach. This went beyond simple treachery. It was a setup. Kirk gave Rasheeda a call. Pressed for the truth. "Come home," she said. So he did. Only to discover her waiting in the living room. "Tell me it's not true," he ordered. She gave him a subtle glance. And that quiet? It told him everything. For what seemed like an age, they were silent. By looking into Rasheeda's eyes, Kirk hoped to catch a glimpse of remorse or hesitation. Anything. That would let him know this was only a horrible dream. Instead, what he saw made him feel extremely cold. Acceptance. Rasheeda had no choice. She was already reconciled to it. Kirk stepped forward slowly, his voice quivering and low. "Who is he?" Rasheeda folded her arms securely across her chest and averted her gaze. "It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter?" Kirk yelled. "My wife is that. That was meant to be my child." Rasheeda remained unflinching. "Not anymore." Then came the noise that made all the difference. The front door opened with a squeak. Kirk turned, recognizing the person already. The man from the video was standing there, tall, assured. "You're wearing the arrogant look that makes your blood boil." The man said, "We need to talk," and entered. "Nah," Kirk said with a scowl and tightened hands. "We're done talking." He made a lunge. Rasheeda leaped between them and yelled. However, it was too late. With his fists flying and his anger boiling from days of suppressed betrayal, Kirk tackled the man. They were separated by security personnel who hurried in. The windows flashed with cameras. The entire globe was observing. The other man grinned while wiping blood off his lip. "You done now?" When Kirk attempted to escape once more, Rasheeda intervened. "Cease, you everyone. This isn't beneficial." Gazing at her, Kirk's breathing became labored. "You selected him, following all that we endured?" With a quiet voice, Rasheeda blinked back tears. "I chose me." Kirk was struck more severely by those remarks than by any blow. Stunned, he stood. He lost his world, his pride, and his marriage. Rasheeda then uttered the final words. "I'm filing for divorce, not a word." The man approached Rasheeda and touched her shoulder. Kirk's mouth clenched. This was the most angry he had ever been. However, he remained still. He was unable to, because he knew in his heart that she meant it. This was not a drama on TV. This actually happened. That was the end. Like a gunshot. The door slammed behind Kirk. He remained on the porch for a while, panting, gazing at the house where his life, his love, and his family had once been. Right now, it was a recollection. An homage to treachery. Blinds were peered at by neighbors. Cameras used by paparazzi clicked like a machine gun. He was more than a reality star now. He made the news. Kirk is left behind by Rasheeda for his best friend. Kirk Frost's meltdown was captured on camera in Baby Not His. The videos gained widespread popularity. The fights video, the yelling. The hotel confession that was leaked. The world was free to analyze every moment of his humiliation. Kirk, too? He was going downhill. For hours, he drove without direction, didn't pick up the phone, didn't give a damn. The moment Rasheeda looked him in the eye and stated, "I chose me," kept playing over and over in his head. Like a curse, it reverberated. He found up in a hotel, drinking whiskey and remorse to muffle his thoughts. His jaw was clenched, and his eyes were bloodshot when he gazed at himself in the mirror. He said, "How did I lose everything?" Then he gave his own response. "Because you didn't anticipate her leaving." The globe divided into two factions over the internet. Team Kirk. She ought to have remained faithful, regardless. Team Rasheeda. He received what was rightfully his. Karma is real. Debated talk shows. The timeline was unraveled by podcasts. Fans pointed out the warning signs that no one noticed by creating TikToks that compared previous seasons side by side. Former co-stars even weighed in, saying, "We all knew something was up." For years, Kirk was crazy. Rasheeda just lost it at... Last, Rasheeda, meanwhile, said nothing. No posts, nothing to say. Just one picture with the simple text, "Peace," showing her palm on her growing baby tummy. At last. The internet was disrupted. For Kirk, however, there was no sign of tranquility. He attempted to call her. She didn't respond. He attempted to text. He was prevented by her. He even appeared at her store. He was turned away by security. They said, "She doesn't want to see you." He yelled, "You think I care what she wants?" But he felt empty even as he spoke. In actuality, he was concerned. He became concerned too late. A week later, the ultimate blow was delivered. A fresh video surfaced. There was no blur in this one. It wasn't done covertly. A full-fledged interview took place. In a studio, Rasheeda sat serenely, composedly and radiantly. She claimed, "I didn't cheat to harm him. Being already broken, I did it." Kirk turned humiliating me into a career, in Chow. Public. Several times. However, I stayed. I stayed for our children, our reputation, and our brand. However, I no longer stayed for myself. The most anticipated question was posed by the interviewer. "And the father of your baby? Is he the man in the video?" After pausing, Rasheeda nodded. "Yes." "And you currently have a partner?" One more pause. "We're constructing something. Something tangible." Internet collapsed. Kirk struck the motel wall with his glass. "She's portraying me as the antagonist," he yelled. Was he, though? He was secretly no longer able to tell. Then began the attempt at a comeback. Kirk shared a dirty, emotional, and unvarnished video. "Yes, I made a mistake. A great deal. However, I never imagined she would treat me this way. My family was all I ever wanted. And it's gone now." Some admirers felt sorry for them. Some people rolled their eyes. It's too late, too little. He wants to be sentimental now? The damage was already done. Meanwhile, Rasheeda looked radiant. She introduced a brand new maternity collection, launched a podcast on parenthood, was seen, looking for a house with the new man. She was doing well. Kirk, too? He was making it through. He began going to treatment. Stopped drinking. Attempted to mend his relationship with his children. Rasheeda, though? She was finished. The documentation had been filed by her. Finalized the divorce within 60 days.